Yeah.
If you could give words of encouragement or an uplifting message to a young artist, or even to yourself as a young artist, what would you say?
Wow, I thought about that a lot. I would say the first thing is um don't feel like people are going to tell you say yes to every job in the beginning. But I would add eventually you're going to have to pick and choose what you really want to do. I would say at some point you're going to look at art differently. It's going to start looking less like how do I get money from my work? And then now it's going to be what is it that I really want in life? And how does my art play into that?
Mm,
Um, because in the beginning, I was very much of the mind that if I got paid, that's all that really mattered. And now looking back, that was really shallow. I would say now in my 40s, I would say um, there are times where like things are rough. I'm not really sure what direction to go. And when I feel that way, I just grab my sketch pad, I grab my Procreate, and I just draw. And when I'm done, I feel better. And I feel like, okay, whatever that moment of panic and anxiety was, it's over now. And I would tell people, especially young artists, is like, think about more of a lifestyle. One professor told me, um, Arthur Keene at Diablo Valley, he one time told me being an artist is a tricky thing because it is both a vocation and a priesthood.
mm,
And and I was like, oh, whoa, yeah, he's absolutely right. And so there are these times where I've made decisions that don't make sense to other people, that don't make sense to my parents at all. And luckily, my wife has always been like 100% supportive. She goes, "No, I get it." And I was like, "Oh, you do? Oh, okay, okay." So I'm not crazy. And so yeah, I always just tell young artists, it's like instead of looking at it as this is a way to make money, I would say, uh, look at how the art plays into all aspects of your life,
nice.
from your health to your, financial health, and then to your overall just like growth as a person.
Nice. No, that's so important. I think that's one of the things one of my college professors said to me as well. And I didn't get it at the time. Raymond Saunders, he said, yeah, art is in everything we do.
Mhm.
And he would take us on these trips, these field trips that had, I thought at the time, absolutely nothing to do with art. And it was like, nope, this is all part of art making. So that's really insightful and powerful. Um, my next question, is there something you do, or do you have a daily art practice? Um, I talk to other artists and they like to exercise or like do art first thing in the morning, or they always want to get at least one drawing done a day. Is there something that you do? Do you have a daily art practice?
Yeah, actually, when I usually when I wake up in the morning, um, I mean, this isn't, I guess this might be part of the routine, but I do Mandarin lessons. And that's helpful because I don't know what it is, but like it gets my brain to be more like to be analytical.
Mm,
And so I like that. So like I have the analytical part, and then what I do is I'll doodle when I'll work on some sketches. And then eventually, I don't know, the being analytical and then the loosening of the drawing, it helps with my freelance work. All of a sudden, it's just like, oh, okay, I could actually like find the happy medium between the analytical drawings and then like the free drawings. Um, yeah, it's so interesting because I used to think that no, you just get up and then you just like work on the project. But sometimes I feel like that's not really helpful. Sometimes I feel like you just need to get that sketch pad and you just need to loosen up your hands. So I think maybe this is what it is. I think the Mandarin practice is like the inspiration because sometimes I'll read something and I'm like, oh, this is really cool. And then it gives me a whole bunch of visual images. And then the sketchbook is where I doodle it. But it doesn't have to be perfect. By all means, like it's definitely not perfect at all. It's just a bunch of gibberish. I wish I had an example to show you, but I've tucked it somewhere else. But my sketches are not, I mean, some the stuff I post online when I say it's rough, yeah, it's because I polished it, you know. But the real doodles are absolutely like they don't look like anything. They're just these gestural lines. And uh but yeah, so I get the inspiration, then I doodle, and then I can work on my craft, work on my work stuff, and all of a sudden I have both now. I have the analytical and the gestural, and it just makes my work more solid.
So when you say Mandarin, are you doing language verbally or are you writing Mandarin?
Both actually.
Nice.
So sometimes the language component is faster to pick up than the actual written language. The written language is
I
like
would think so, yeah.
yeah. So usually what I do is like when I'm reading, I'll take some notes down, but it's that the work in like translating stuff and I understand the book that you're reading, it actually helps to get cool like images. So I'll give an example. I'm reading something called the Son of Formosa, and it's about this young child who grows up in Japanese occupied Taiwan in the 30s. And there's a scene in a moment in the comic where the main character goes out. He's like a young boy. I think he's 9 at the time, but him and his family go out to like a lantern festival, and to celebrate the Japanese taking over Nanjing in China. And the reason why that is like important to me is because I'm like a Chinese history buff. Like I really love Chinese history. And so anyway, once I was sitting there and I was like, wait a minute. I know I read about the massacre in Nanjing, and I know about that. And I was like, oh wow. And all of a sudden it just like inspired this other story I've been wanting to work on for the longest time.
Wow.
And so I got on my sketchbook and I just did these like really quick doodles, and I usually like tuck it away. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna save that for next time. So, and then by the time I get to my freelance work, it's just already like I put in the work and I feel confident about whatever. Like it could be a huge scenery with like today it was like this like epic scenery with this futuristic castle, whatever. And I was like, that's that's not a problem.
No, it's crazy because I feel like for me, I need a warm up. And I think that's probably the
Mhm.
purpose it's serving for you. So a quick warm up. I really think,
Mhm.
yeah, for it's almost like work if you've ever worked out, lifted weights, like you
Mhm.
definitely have to get some warm up sets in, and then your
Mhm.
rest of your workout goes so much better. And I feel
Yeah.
like it's the same way. Like you got to get warm, get your hands warmed up, and get your
Yep.
brain connected,
Yep.
right? Hand-eye coordinated, but also just get your head in the right frame of mind to create
Yeah.
something. It always pisses me off whenever I'm not feeling well, I'm sick, and someone will say, "Oh, now you can make art." And I can't make art when I'm sick. That's like, oh my God, it's so frustrating. It's like, no, I need my mind, my hand, like I need
Yep.
everything
Yep.
on point to make art. It's not like a throwaway. Like it's so
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah, actually, you know what? That is the first time that I've heard another artist mention that, because I do agree with you. I believe it's just like it's a fitness routine, and I don't know, like I'm such a big advocate of eating well, and make sure your health is on point, because if it's not, it's really tough to do art. Like
Hmm.
people think art is made when you're in like a despair or when you're like high on cocaine or something, whatever. And I'm like,
It's
no,
true.
that's not it. It's like, no, you actually, when you're of peace of mind and soul and body,
Yeah,
that's when you're the most creative.
yeah. And just
So,
capable. Like your skill set. Like I was really sick in 2021 and then I got sick again
mhm.
in 2022, but I always would do Black History Month daily drawings.
Mm,
And I tell you, those daily drawings in February of 2022, when I was really not 100%, like I was not well, are
yeah,
horrible. Like other
yeah,
people might think they're great, but I'm like, oh my God, I can really see that I was not well. Like
yeah.
I'm trying to fake it in those drawings, but it's
Right.
not well. And
Yeah,
it's like proved my point. Like, yeah, I could do it, but I can clearly see I was off.
yeah. Yeah,
and they
I
were
agree.
labored, they were hard to
Yeah,
do. And
yeah,
people don't understand. You have to be totally connected and on point and at the
yeah,
top of your game to make good stuff. And
yeah.
but whatever that means to you, but you can tell when you're not feeling well. I mean, I'm sure other artists put stuff down like, okay, I'm not 100%. Let me put this
Yeah.
away and come back to it when I'm feeling better because yeah, it's not like the one I'm being high too. Like, yeah, why do they think artists make art just super blasted? That's crazy talk.
I've actually, it's funny. A friend was telling me, he's like, "Hey, if we," this is like years ago. He was like, if we get drunk, we might like, let's see like what happens. We might make cool art." We didn't do anything. We
Nope.
just slept. Or it was like we're so like plaster. We're just like I can't keep my eyes open. So I don't know. Maybe people out there can do it. I know I can.
I
I
can't.
have to be of sound of mind. I mean, to me, it's the equivalent of carpentry. It's
Mm,
like you're measuring, you're making sure proportions, everything's correct,
right.
and then when you put it together, it's like this very like the image is correct. There
Yeah.
is, of course, the feeling behind it, but no, there's also the carpentry, the technicality
Yep.
behind it. So it's like if you're not sober, your brain's all over the place. Yeah, I agree. I've had drawings too where I'm like, yeah, like I wasn't even paying attention, you know?
Yep.
So it's days like that where I'm like, I'm not drawing because my brain's
No,
out there.
I told this story to Tyler. I don't know if you know Tyler Cohen. That one drawing I did this past Black History Month, I
Uh-huh.
struggled with it. I don't know what was on my mind, but I was drawing this woman.
Uh-huh.
She was really lovely, really beautiful, but I just guess maybe I was not in the right frame of mind, and I gave that woman the 5 o'clock shadow. Like she was ugly, horrible. I was like, oh my God, I had to start over. It was like I tried to do one a day, and it was like 10:30 at night. I'm like, I am not posting this. This lady's gonna see this drawing. I had to
Yeah.
start over. It was so this one I got a lot of great responses. I'd love to hear what you think. Is there a dream setup for your studio, a dream location? If you could fantasize about the perfect art studio location, how it's set up, the whole nine. Do you have a dream studio in mind?
I do. I always picture like this like vintage, it's all nothing but wood and I don't know, some kind of black metal like you would see with record players where like it's all made out of wood and like metal and all that. And anyway, I picture uh something in like an apartment out in like Tokyo or something like that. I don't know, just like this really chill vibe. I'm a huge I'm like the stereotypical artist that works at a cafe. So it's like kind of I would love for like my studio to have that vibe, where it's just you have like jazz or lo-fi playing in the background. And you just have like and oh, also I don't have to clean my studio because I don't know how to keep my studio clean. Uh
Nice.
yeah. But it definitely wouldn't have like it'd just be a nice place to go to. Like I can create, I have my drafting table, I have my like, computer set up and everything. And if okay, if we're gonna go crazy with the dream scenario, I would love to have an actual DJ there mixing music,
Oh my gosh,
and you're just like, wow, I'm in the ultimate creative space.
that'd be awesome.
Um, The other day I was working at a cafe, speaking of which, and I was super productive just because there was I saw a table across from me. This woman was practicing her calligraphy. A couple of people down were playing board games, but they were like strategizing how to like, like play this game. There was another group, they were playing puzzles and they were trying to figure it out. And then I think there was like two more people there and they were working on the film. I was like, I love this. This feels like the ultimate creative environment. And
Yeah.
everyone's just busy doing their creative stuff. And I mean, you if there was a utopia, if such a thing existed, I think I was in it for about like 5 hours. It was wonderful. And that's how my studio would be. I think a dream situation too would be like the studio would be open to other artists, and it would just be like maybe like two or three other artists in there, and maybe be a house too, and then so like everyone has their own like chambers that they go to work, and
Wow.
then and then for it's like a co-working space for artists, right? And then like
Love it.
everyone meets, you can meet together in the kitchen. Maybe there's like a board or something everyone can doodle on, but they talk about where they are so far with the project. Uh yeah. Anyway, I can go on forever about it, but that's
That
the
sounds
idea.
awesome. That sounds like a rad place to work. No,
Yeah,
everyone that's those same elements where they want other artists to be able to gather and do their work and have
yeah.
part of it be communal and then part where you're working on your own projects and no, the DJ is a unique one. I like it though. I love it.
Right.
DJ is that would be oh my god, especially just playing whatever you liked. Oh,
Yeah,
that'd
I
be
know. Right. Yeah. And I don't know, but for me, I'm such a huge caffeine lover. There'd be like a little bar or two. Uh,
Oh,
so
I have to limit my caffeine because I every now and then before I work out, I'll go to Pete's Coffee, and that
mhm.
coffee is so strong.
I know. Yeah, I know what you're talking
Oh,
about.
oh my gosh. All right, so next question, and not too many more for you, but next question, is there something that you use or that you want to share with other people, like a book or a art supply or something, maybe even a new discovery or even a new technique that you want to tell people about that you just think is awesome?
Um, yeah, I've been playing with calligraphy, and I had a calligraphy teacher when I was 21, and he said, "You're not very good at this, so you have no business doing this." I was like, it was just, I was like, "Oh, yeah, wow,
Dude.
okay, yeah, well," I was like, "Okay." Um, but one thing I did pick up is that I guess there's different branches of calligraphy, but one of them is a little more abstract. It's the ones that you might see more often when it looks like a lot of splattering of the ink, and the characters just look a little wild. They're more I guess they'd be the equivalent of like cursive writing.
Hmm,
Um, like a stylized cursive writing. And anyway, I learned that those brushes, you can really beat the crap out of them, and they give off some amazing texture. So one artist I've seen, he will do his like lettering, but then what he'll do is on some parts, he'll like jam the brush onto the paper and just like move it around. And it creates this really cool dry brush effect.
hmm,
And I started to use that a lot on my art. And I was doing it too much like years ago, but recently I found a way to like target where I can get away with it.
right,
And if I could teach one thing from that, it would just be like how to design your composition with the black of the ink, and pick where you can keep it tight, and then pick areas where you can actually get abstract, and it helps the eyes to see where you want people to pay attention to.
right.
Yeah. So designing with strokes, basically.
Oh my God. What do you know the name of the brush or is there a certain brush style or?
I mean, the brush are these. You can get them in probably like Oakland, Chinatown. I got mine in Taiwan. They're calligraphy brushes.
Okay.
Um, and so there's a there's supposed to be a way that you use these brushes. I I told a calligraphy person that I purchased these brushes from, and she said, "Yeah, I don't think you're using them right." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." But what you're supposed to do, actually, you're supposed to dip them in water,
Hmm.
and then you like twist them. So that's how they get that like, because when it fans out like this, I
Right,
mean, it's really you can't. I mean, you can still use them, but they prefer for neater character drawings to have it where it's all like pinched like this.
right.
Um, but eventually when the water runs out of this, you can just stab the paper and you just like smear it, and it just creates some really cool effect. Actually, if you want to see an example of what I'm talking about, so I was working on this Lone Wolf and Cub
Oh, beautiful.
piece, and so you could see where like some areas are like lighter
Uh-huh.
strokes, some areas are deeper strokes,
Right.
and then by the time I got to the bottom, it's just scribbles. And that's actually more calligraphy technique than it is like just like painting.
Wow.
So when I paint, it's like my hand glides, like I'm writing characters. So anyway, that's something I would, yeah, love to teach.
Yeah, I have a set of those, and I'm probably using them wrong too, because I do more traditional watercolor, but I'm gonna start trying to do
Mhm.
a little bit more dry brush because I haven't
Mhm.
done a color comic in a while, and it definitely probably be watercolor again. I spent so much time making a color
Mhm.
comic all in watercolor, had no idea what I was doing, Steve. It
Well, that's
essentially
how
just
we
drew
learn.
all in. I drew it all in black and white, scanned it all in,
Uh-huh.
printed it back out, and then did watercolor on all of it again.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Oh wow. But that's cool though. I like that. I like you have a
it
process.
it was just by the seat of my pants. I had no idea what I was doing. So, what's coming up next for you? What's the big project?
Um, Working with a friend right now, Seth Singleton, on this project I've been wanting to get to for a while. It's just kind of my chance to flex my uh it's less with Joan, like I felt like I had to do everything, but this next project is great because I get to really flex the art, whereas Seth can really focus on the story. I
Mm,
can't talk about it too much, but that's basically what's happening
the
with the
graphic
project right
novel.
now. It might be a graphic novel. We're gonna see. Right now we have like images in mind,
Hmm.
and we're kind of seeing like, can we get by telling a story without actually doing a graphic novel? Because my issue is that I want to do like 30 million things, but that's never possible.
Right.
So not when it's all at the same time. So what we're thinking about is making a series of possibly posters, scrolls, or something, and seeing where it goes from there. And then yeah, just conventions. I'll be at LA Comic Con, featured guest, oh, not featured, but I'll be a guest there at LA Comic Con doing Rose City, Kaboom, and Carson City. But if people want to know where I'm at, they can go to my website, sistudiopresents.com, and they can find like a list of the shows I'm doing this year.
Nice. I'll put that in the description box. One last
Sure.
creative question. Is there one thing that you maybe wanted to try over the years that you kind of feel a little intimidated and just never picked it up, but you think, hey, maybe one day I'll try this, whether it's acting or singing or sculpture or, dancing? Is there some creative outlet that you wanted to try that maybe you just haven't yet?
Yeah. I actually want to take a stab at film directing.
Hmm.
I've co-directed people, but it's always like um, my partners knowing more than I do about that process. Uh, Film directing or playwriting, something where I can like direct the story. I used to think that a director should know all the ins and outs of a production. They should know something, but a friend of mine that passed away, he once told me he was like he himself was a film director. He said, really, what a director should be able to do is tell a story and work with actors to help them get that story out.
Wow.
And I was like, oh wow, because I'm not a technical guy. I don't like people talk to me about like aperture and shutter speed. I'm like, that is so boring to me. I'll save that for a cinematographer. But I really want to tell a story and really work with actors to tell a story. So that's been my big project.
Amazing. Is there any particular type of story you want to tell?
Yeah, I have this story. I actually wrote the treatment today. It's been in my head for 2 years, but it's loosely based on an in-law, and a lot of the story is talks about just a person who lives in a very secluded area, and he deals with uh, xenophobia,
Hmm.
and but day by day, he gets exposed to something to the point where something happens in his life is very tragic, and he decides, I'm just going to leave the country and see what being in another culture is like. And he spends maybe like a night there in this faraway land, meets a person of that culture who is like that culture's equivalent of him, but ends up becoming friends with that guy. And
Wow.
then when he comes home, he realizes that well, when he comes home, he basically learns something new, which is, oh wow, the world isn't a very scary place at all. So I think it's fitting for the times that we live in.
Hmm.
And I don't know, it just be like a good feel good independent movie about just acceptance of other people.
Nice, nice. All right, so shout out to your social media if you still are on those.
Yeah, SYU artist on Instagram. I'm mostly active on there. I tried
Okay.
doing the TikTok thing, but not. I'm not a TikToker. And then my website, sydstudiopresents.com.
Awesome. So thank you so much for sitting down and talking with me. Like I said, it was nice to meet you finally. I think was in April. And so this has been
Mhm.
amazing. So awesome.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I appreciate this.
Of course, I'm a big fan of your work, so you'll
Oh, thank
probably
you.
be seeing me more, hopefully anyway.